So why did I choose to shift these to the end of the ceremony today? Because it's normally the thing that you get up on stage and do at the very beginning. But it's because of the story that you've just heard about. You just heard about a business that has made a significant impact on a town's economy, visitation, and employment in just 3 years. Interestingly, they cited in their case study another business like theirs that had a 7-year start on them, a cordials business that too found its original recipes. But Bilson's point to their brand and the design of their packaging as the factors that enabled them to outpace their competitor in just 3 years. This puts Bilson's in the top 3 of employers in Beechworth. I suspect they're probably number 1 now as a result of the growth over the last year. And half of their performance happened during COVID. Now, most governments dream of this sort of success for their small businesses. In the UK, 3/5 of employment is down to small businesses. They are the engine of most economies. So it's no wonder governments are fixated on the growth of these businesses. Bilson's increased employment from 2 to 120 something in just 3 years, which is a staggering increase. It's a profound impact on a local community. Just think about it. That's a bunch of people that didn't have to schlep to Melbourne for work. Bilson's restored the buildings, which presented them with an opportunity to offer a better visitor experience. That brings more money into the local economy. And 2.5 years after launching, 1,000 quality retailers stock their products. That drives profit into those businesses, not to mention the impact that increased volumes would have on Bilson's suppliers. Think of the positive impact of bigger orders for the myriad of small producers that supply Bilson's with fruit, for example. Now, Bilson's also knew that they had to grow their brand to enable innovation and growth by the end of year 2. Their commitment to growth is and will continue to have far-reaching impacts beyond the ones that were actually included in this case study. And I hope I've just been able to illustrate some of those. And I don't know what you call that ripple effect of impact that travels out from one business doing really well in the business community that it operates in to the businesses that supply it, to the prosperity that drives into the local community and into the local economy. What I do know is that this case study doesn't cover that ripple effect. Now, I'm not suggesting that design did all this. Bilson still had to have great salespeople, great production line manager, great raw materials purchaser, great packers, great recipes at their core. But I'm guessing that their other competitor had all of these things too. The missing ingredient for the other business was design. Bilson's used design strategically and creatively to drop this brand into the market in exactly the right spot. Now, I often talk about design as being the yeast in the business mix. Picture, if you will, a table and on it the ingredients you need to make a loaf of bread. The smallest ingredient on that table is the yeast, but we all know it has to go in at the right time to take effect. And it struck me when I was pulling this together that most small businesses and even most medium-sized businesses can't get all of the ingredients on the table before they start thinking strategically about their positioning and brand in the market. They don't have designers in their businesses. They have all the other ingredients. They have sales, marketing, production, and so on. But 9 times out of 10, the founders or the people who buy these businesses don't have years of experience in design and branding. And this is where I think governments go wrong. They're busy trying to create the environment within which businesses can flourish, not realizing, like the businesses themselves, that the yeast in the business mix design is missing from the table. What's the point of a government export strategy for small businesses if those small businesses haven't taken into account their brand and positioning in new markets? Now, I'm not advocating that small and medium-sized businesses suddenly start employing designers, no. The role of small and medium-sized design businesses is to plug that gap at each and every small and medium-sized business table. You need to be talking about what you do in terms of the impact you could have in a business. If you were party to the strategic conversation and not just the creative execution of a strategy that you haven't read or have had nothing to do with. So before you embark on your projects with your clients, ask them for the strategy if they haven't shared that with you. Bilson's competitor will have a strategy, I'm sure of it, but it's not one that was touched by designers. And if you leave design to the point where the product flies out of the door, as a business, you're underutilizing design. I'm sure you'll still shift product, but nowhere nearly as successfully as Bilson's do. And if you're designers working on these types of briefs, where you're just being asked to get the product out of the door, then you're underselling design's role in business. And you and your client will probably never win a design effectiveness award. So why am I telling you this today? Well, you've just invested an hour or so of your time to listen to some amazing stories. I want you to dig into them and learn from them. Read the Bilson's case study. Read the case studies that don't sit in your area of expertise, regardless of whether you're the business that commissioned the work or the agency that produced the results. Get yourself familiar with the language of design effectiveness, because if there's a recession looming, as designers, we need to be exercising the full force of our strategic and creative abilities to get businesses through the next 3 years. Governments need to be adopting and advocating for design. Please let's talk about how you could be using these case studies to wake businesses up to the potential of design so that it's understood to be the yeast in the business mix. Imagine the Bilson impacts on just a fraction of our SME community in the UK. Exposing the CEOs of these small businesses to design in this way will prepare them for a career in industry. And we want design-aware CEOs in charge of our global brands. I have no doubt that Bilson's will be a global brand. And to the global brands that do this so well, please continue to set the example and be generous in sharing your stories, either through the DBA or other business associations. Please talk about the role of design in your organizations and how it is that you drive design added value into your brands and businesses. Now, that brings us to the end of today's ceremonies. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you, Clive, again for a sterling job this afternoon. Thank you so much. And in chairing all of those deliberations at the judging sessions. Thank you to our judges. I am indebted to you all. You invest your time and energy into these awards and it shows. And it's our job now at the DBA to use these case studies to champion the role of design in business. A last word to all of our winners, bronze, silver, gold, and Grand Prix. You've shown us the power of what design can achieve, the positive change it can create. My congratulations to you all. Raise your glasses, enjoy your afternoons, celebrate. Until next time, thank you very much.